Fashion Police Squad is a first-person shooter developed by Multiple Games. Let me ask you something. When I say old school first-person shooter, what's the first thing you think of? Solving fashion crimes, correct.
Launched.
It is a unique take on a genre that contains some of the more hyper-violent games out there. A typical FPS game will look something like this. Which allows Fashion Police Squad to stand out instantly with its vibrant world, cheerful vibe, and unique mechanics. Your goal isn't to destroy your enemies, but to make them more stylish. Set in an alternate world where fashion is passion, it's up to Sargent Des and the rest of the squad to find out why so many people are becoming unfashionable in their glorious city. Once enemies have been fashionized, they dance and celebrate in humorous ways, and the end mission summaries are hard not to smile at, with everyone dancing on the catwalk. There are some solid jokes and good visuals. I like Des as a protagonist. He is a lovable idiot who is very trusting and not very smart, but overall seems like a solid dude for a cop. In order to deal with these fashion criminals, you need the right tools for the job. Each weapon is designed with specific fashion crimes in mind. Things like too much or too little color, wrong size, being on fire. Combat is binary. If you use the wrong gun, it is completely ineffective. They do a good job of easing players into this setup. They slowly introduce new enemy types and guns. There aren't a lot of either in the game. There are only 5 weapons along with a belt, which stuns enemies and even damages some. The water cannon is effective against multiple enemy types, but the other 3 guns are not. The limited number of enemies and weapons allows the player to get familiar with how each one operates. Most enemies use projectile-based attacks, and those who don't still provide a clear telegraph before attacking, which allows for movement to be a key defensive asset. You can move fast by default, but there are a few tools to increase your overall mobility. Your belt can act as a grappling hook on certain fixtures, and the water gun allows you to move faster and jump further. There is no regenerating health or shields, you find those by exploring. The levels on offer are linear with some hidden areas that contain some phenomenal collectibles, along with more health and shields. They give out health often, and I hardly found myself with low health for long periods of time. Even on hard, it took me until near the end of the game before I would die with any regularity. Which isn't a bad thing necessarily. I was still engaged in the combat throughout, but more skilled players might find the game to be a little unchallenging. Before a mission, you can equip different fits. These change aspects of your character, like maximum health and shields, powers up your belt, stuff of that nature. There's no leveling up weapons or gear, just a few fits you unlock along your journey. That is the basic gameplay setup, except for the best mechanic in the game! Dealing with enemies increases your swag meter, and when you reach full swagnificence, you can unleash your most devastatingly stylish attack, the Bab Slap. This allows you to slap some damn sense into these fools and fix them up instantly. It works on every enemy, dashes you to their location. It is perfect. No notes. Any game that has you slap the shit out of enemies will have a special place in my heart. The combat is straightforward, not a ton of variables in play, but they do a good job of keeping it enjoyable. Different enemy combinations can be used to create unique combat encounters, which forces the player to maneuver around enemies in order to deal damage to a specific one. You can't have a favorite weapon you rely on in every situation, as the combat forces you to use every gun. which results in this rhythm of running, jumping, switching weapons while attacking that I found enjoyable. There are things I wish were better about the combat. One is feedback. Using the wrong gun just has a sound effect and a small X over the enemy's health bar. When combat gets chaotic, that becomes harder to see. I think having the health bar somehow mapped to the weapon can assist players in knowing which gun to use. Each gun has a unique reticle for it, so having that as a symbol instead of a generic X might help. Another problem I have are the boss battles. The bosses play by the same rules as every other enemy, thus only one weapon will be effective against them at any given time. This makes them feel like massive damage sponges, as the main thing separating them from standard enemies is their damage output and health bar. There are only 3 in the game and all are not great. The game introduces dual crime enemies, which is an idea I think should have been saved for bosses. This would have them be more unique when compared to standard enemies. Like the first boss could have been gray and wearing an oversized coat. Even within the rules that this game set for combat, there is still room for improvement. Look at how the guns are set up. The first one has a really fun alt and primary fire connection. Using the alt fire builds up a charge, and when fully charged, you get 7 super powered shots. I like that. Another connection is when using the water cannon's primary fire, it builds up pressure and has its alt fire shoot faster. I wish that the other guns had a fun connection like that between the alt and primary. This setup introduces some decision making into combat, since the water cannon and the 2-die-4 both deal with neon enemies. There is a decision to be made on your part. Do you charge up the 2-die-4 or get rid of them with the water cannon? Most decisions are made for you in regards to weapons, but this gives some control back to you on how you want to proceed. The devs here made a very unique and enjoyable combat system, but there is still more potential to be uncovered. A quick word on levels. Overall, the levels are alright. They try their best to keep levels interesting, not just within the standard combat, but throughout, including some platforming, a turret section, and a couple of sniping sections. When the platform is more focused on swinging instead of precise jumps, I found it to be more enjoyable. Luckily, the platforming sections are short, so even the more annoying ones don't bother me as much. I do enjoy how much they commit to this bizarre world with gold things that don't make sense and the most confusing bathrooms I have ever seen. I think they could have benefited by having more levels like the boat section, where they change up the visuals dramatically, since most of the time you're in a sunny city environment, which can be visually repetitive after a while. I think some nightlife levels or unique buildings could have been a good idea. Fashion Police Squad is a solid experience which doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a fun and happy time helping people get more stylish. You can expect about 4 to 6 hours of gameplay, which is perfect for this game. Its humor doesn't become annoying and the gameplay is enjoyable throughout. The combat has room for improvements, but is overall fun. They crafted many unique combat encounters that tested your knowledge in this gameplay system. If this game looks up your alley, I recommend it. If you're a fan of first-person shooters, I think you should check it out. You'll get a very solid and unique FPS. I have played a lot of shooters and even reviewed a few on this channel, and Fashion Police Squad is one of the more unique ones I have ever come across. That's all for this video, kind of a shorter one for a shorter game. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and please like, share, subscribe, all the standard YouTube BS. I'll be back with another video soon, where I will get way too horny over a hologram. Goodbye. Also follow me on bluesky.